We're 100 days from the election now, less than. I have a hard time believing the Wayfair thing based on the Russia. Mostly anything dealing with Russia, I have a hard time to believe.
You build 1,700 pages, and maybe you'll want to write more of them. I mean, everything we're talking about, you could have a page and a half.
And maybe they'd read more of them too.
Yeah.
Because the long form discussion is taking over these news segments, are taking over these spoon-fed, prepackaged media sound bites that we get every day.
Media. Yep.
Do you think anyone on the left should have been blamed for this?
The insurrection?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the entire media.
And this is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
Conspiracy cast. We will catch this on the recording. I'll see if I can find it. There was an orb. How many people believe in ghosts who watch? Orbs? You're familiar with orbs, right?
Like the
little floating beams of light?
Yeah, where'd you see one?
There was the one that... I'm going to track it in the editing. It's there. I'll circle it or something.
During Conspiracy Cast?
I'm telling... No, right now. Just now it happened.
On my screen?
On mine.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Season 2, dude. That's just what happens at season 2.
Every season should have its own conspiracy cast.
Are you saying the next episode has to be Conspiracy Cast?
Bro, what if... Wait, we're starting the show and then we're jumping into the idea. Hey everyone, Dave here, December 1773. This is Season 2, Episode 53 of the weekly show, all the week's hottest topics with a twist. As with me as always is Ryan. Ryan does now look like he is part of the team. I got him a shirt.
I actually got a shirt.
Decembertainment.
It took a whole season
on Saturday, and I got him a shirt. It took him one whole season. I wanted to make sure he was going to be here as a long-term, reoccurring role on the show, and it turns out he's done a pretty good job. So I will allow him to keep hosting the show. We had an idea.
One fucking episode, the whole fucking.
We had an idea, and I wanted to get into it. And I will put this at the... Everyone watch till the end. I will put it at the end, I swear. I don't know how many people here are believing ghosts, are into ghost stuff. There was an orb that came across my screen. Orbs are like little beams of light, and it's supposed to be energy from beyond. I'm telling you, it was there. Could it be a speck of dust reflecting light? Yes, that would be a logical thing. But I'm going to go with orb. I had an idea in my head, though. In Episode 2 of our show was Conspiracy Cast, and it's still to this day probably my favorite episode we've done, just because I love conspiracies. I never really buy into them, but I love hearing them. I love conspiracies. Conspiracy Cast 2, we should get together and do a ghost hunt.
A ghost hunt?
A ghost hunt.
Do you have a place to hunt ghosts?
We can certainly find one. I'm sure we can find a place to rent it out. I'm sure Eve would be down for a ghost hunt also.
Hoover Cemetery is hunted in New York. It's outside of Holland.
Listen,
I've been there twice.
There's plenty of time to off-air find where we're going to ghost hunt, but I think we're going to ghost hunt. I like this idea that I came up with. I'm championing my own idea. We'll have to find a way to have, like, night vision cameras and shit. We'll figure it out. I like the idea of Conspiracy Cast 2 being a ghost hunt. Because ghosts are kind of a conspiracy.
I guess. Like, God's a conspiracy, too. But, you know.
I believe in ghosts. I'm a ghost guy. I love ghosts. Just like
you believe in Sasquatch? Because the sightings of that, I've been seeing that on the timeline recently. Sasquatch is...
No, that's just ridiculous.
Dude, what are the fucking odds that you just happen to be in the woods at the right time? There's only a couple... let's just say there's a couple Sasquatches alive, right? And you just happen to be in the woods at the same... You know how hard it is to see deer in the woods when you're hunting, let alone a fucking Sasquatch?
They have this theory, too, with Megalodon, the old prehistoric shark. The people who still think there's Megalodons around. The idea behind it is the ocean's so large, if there's only a couple still surviving from prehistoric times, it'd be nearly impossible to see them.
Well, considering it took 1 trillion atomic warheads to boil the water out of the fucking atmosphere, I doubt they're alive. Science denied 1 trillion atomic warheads, but the fucking people can blow the earth up with atomic warheads. Fuck.
I don't know about the Megalodon. Maybe Conspiracy Cast 3 will hit the ocean and see if we can find one. Conspiracy Cast 2, though, I kind of like the idea of doing a ghost hunt. I think that would be entertaining.
Yeah, let's go.
I'm
not scared. I'm not scared of shit.
I'm not scared of shit either.
I'll bring my crucifix, bro. The power of Christ tells you.
I will clarify one thing. I am scared of one thing in life, and that is birds. We have 2 of them, and they're terrifying.
They are dinosaurs, David.
They are dinosaurs. Also, they're robots. Government spies. Conspiracy Cast.
They change batteries in birds on the West Coast. Like, really? How many?
I'm excited for our headlines because the first one surely will get you going, get you riled up. Headlines, season 2 style. Season 2. U.S. women's soccer team takes stunning loss after kneeling for BLM at Olympic opener.
Yeah, way to put on for your country. You know, this reminds me of a guy that played football, pretty sure, you know, when he wasn't that great and good. You know, this is amazing because it comes after the heels of the women's soccer team losing to a bunch of high school fucking boys like a couple months ago. So you know, this is par for the course that women can't even compete against real women in sports. Can't wait till they allow more guys in there.
They had a lawsuit. I don't know if you saw this. They had the lawsuit about equal pay, and it got thrown out. And they said, well, the thing they weren't considering is the fact that our performance was better than the males. And I thought, technically, you did better than they did in your own separate league. But if you played against the boys, you wouldn't do very good. And I know this because it already happened.
You couldn't beat high schoolers. You couldn't beat high school boys soccer.
Men athletes.
Dude, high school, that's a real thing. Like, that's not, like, making fun of women or putting them down. But, like, really, they lost to high school men. I don't know why we're still... The best females in the world, Serena Williams, is not even a 200-ranked college tennis player. Arguably one of the greatest female Olympic athletes ever. 200 in college. She's not even in... She wouldn't even get picked, basically. Like, I got a better chance of getting into tennis than she does. You know, like...
So, yeah.
So this is just a focus thing, man. This is... I know that their performance was inhibited by all of this social pressure, and not to mention everything else going on with these crazy-ass Olympic, the cardboard beds, apparently, so nobody's having sex and everything, and... United States has not won a medal either. They just won earlier today, I believe, on Sunday or yesterday. But it was like the first...
Really good in the Summer Olympics, though, do we? Aren't we more of a Winter Olympic kind of?
I don't know. I just know that it was the first time. The news said that it was the first time the United States has not won an Olympic medal in the opening day or opening days of the Olympics since like the late 70s.
Nice. Well, our one hope of getting a medal, you know, she kind of can't show up because, you know, performance-enhancing drugs.
Hey, good thing we got men competing in women's sports to get that gold medal.
We could really clean up, really.
Oh, that's it. The super soldier serum. Like, what's that? Oh, we interject men with...
Speaking of the super soldiers. Headlines! I thought this was fake at first. I had to look this up. China's new robo shark underwater drone will hunt U.S. and Navy submarines.
Did it say hunt? Is that the fucking term, too?
That's the term it used, yeah.
Why don't we go over there and just wreck these people? I'm being serious.
China's new robotic shark uses AI to detect and fire at enemy vessels and will hunt down U.S. Navy submarines deep in the ocean.
Go beat the bricks off China. I don't know what we're waiting for, dude. I mean, they're talking about fighting on the moon and hunting us and sharks and submarines. Just go.
They said China's been working on this for 10 years. They call it a UAV, underwater vehicle, unmanned underwater vehicle, UUV.
I'm sure it looks very fake too, by the way. You know,
it probably
I'm sure it's not.
You probably don't even know the difference. That's probably what everyone thinks. The megalodons that exist. They're probably just seeing robotic sharks.
The guy inside with a fucking bike pedal. What do? I spy on him. Fire! That's cultural appropriation, YouTube. Yes, that's exactly what it is. Dude, you ever watch like full cartoons of like it's terrible. Flintstones the other day, dude. Like I laughed so hard. And
did I ever tell you my this is a big joke at my work. Did I ever tell you of the Chinese restaurant incident? So there's a couple Chinese places by where I work, and the one's like not very good. It's run by Americans. It's kind of bad. And then there's another one like in town that's like Chinese people, and it's legit. It's good. So we went there. I went there to pick up the food the one time we ordered out, and this Chinese girl's sitting at the table. So I walk in, and she's like, "Oh, hello, welcome." And I was like, "Oh, hey, I'm just here to pick up my order." And she looks at me kind of confused, and I'm like, "What?" She's like, "I don't work here just because I'm Chinese." I was like, you set me up, you son of a bitch. What'd you greet me for? Turns out she was just a friendly Chinese woman. Who knew?
The only Chinese woman in all of Pennsylvania in that area.
There's two of them. One works at the restaurant, one does not. Whoops.
Her son works at the restaurant.
Turns out she was not taking my order.
Oh, welcome.
No. To be fair, I mean, come on. What would you think?
Yeah. Well, Asian in an Asian spot.
It's a conspiracy, man. I'm telling you. That's conspiracy cast 2 right there. Have you noticed we have not heard much of Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez?
Oh, we heard about her.
Have we, though?
Yeah, I heard about her this week. It was on my list.
Did you? Headlines! Ocasio-Cortez invests $1.4 million in merch.
Tax the rich, people. Tax the rich.
She's got to stay relevant.
$1 million. It's such a joke. This is like Bernie bitching about millionaires and billionaires, and then when he became a millionaire, he just started saying billionaires.
It's not super surprising, honestly, because now that she's not constantly publicly trashing Republicans, she just kind of went away. What's she going to say now? She can't say anything about Biden. I'm sure that's not allowed. You can buy all the merch you want. The fact is, you'd be much better off with a Republican in office.
I'd really love to know where the T-shirts are made.
Oh, I'm sure they're made by the woman who greeted me at the Chinese restaurant.
Saying Ocasio-Cortez has sweatshops.
She's using the people at the border in cages.
Yeah, that's his tax the rich.
I'm fighting for you. I want to get you out, but first, can you just make like 4,000 shirts?
Here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna give you skills while you're in the pen here, so that when you go into, you're marketable for the economy that doesn't exist because we forced the closure of businesses.
She's really just looking out for the legal immigrants in this country. She just wants to make sure they're ready to hit the ground running. They can make the best shirts.
Dude, her shirts were like $30, like $39. Like they were
$39.
Yeah, it was. I'm pretty sure when you look it up, they were rather.
She needs to hit up Vistaprint. These were like half.
No, man, she likes Gucci. You know, she's got Gucci shit.
She's got Gucci shirts embroidered for $39.
Not her.
I know.
Not her shirts are Gucci, but I'm sure she has Gucci shit. She's kind of hot. She's not dressing terrible. You know what I'm saying? Cortez is showing up, putting it on, like Kamala Harris when she wore her Timberlands. Putting on
Timbs. She did rock some Timbs.
Dude, she slayed it too. Like I don't, when she was Montel's side piece, I'd maybe hit her up. But now that she's VP, she hit the wall.
Yeah, I don't think she's allowed to smoke and listen to Tupac anymore. I saw this article and
dude, she's gotta be medicated for being a psycho. Like she's got.
Her cackling is outrageous. So I saw this. We were talking about taxing the rich recently. Headlines: Older Americans stockpiled a record $35 trillion. The time has come to give it away.
I wonder if Cuomo's killing their grandparents to get that tax revenue.
That makes sense. This whole article is ridiculous. It was clearly written by. I mean, I don't even have to. I could Google this person, but I don't even have to. I can guarantee this person who wrote it is definitely under 30 years old.
Yeah, it'd probably work at Vice.
Yeah, I don't remember. Wall Street Journal.
That's even worse. It might as well be twice.
Yeah, that was Wall Street Journal, which is good because they don't get financial advice or anybody. The whole article was basically bitching that the older generation, the boomers, those damn boomers, hell, millennials just hate boomers. They hate them. But they got to work a regular job, and they made the wives stay home and clean. How dare them? And they kept all their wealth. It's ridiculous.
They were able to have they were able to work one job and afford things and still save and invest. Be like,
Yeah.
How did that happen? Because there was a different time in America. Okay. And why was that? I've heard that, I don't know if it was Eisenhower or FDR, but he raised fucking taxes and everything, right, to pave the way for all these things and stuff. But it's like, whether that be true or not, dude, the very system that you guys want, like, that you demonize was built on American ideals, and then you shit talk them every other day in the fucking media. And then I got to hear that you want to steal my grandparents' wealth because they're the only generation with wealth. I thought people hated Jeff Bezos, but he's not a baby boomer, Dave. He's Gen Zer, so I don't know. Elon Musk is not a baby.
They gotta be at least not a boomer, but at least millennials, right? Is Gen Z before millennial?
Yeah. Boomer, Gen Z, and then.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, because my dad's technically a boomer. 63. He's technically it's like the last.
Civil rights.
And then
he was born before civil rights.
Literally for the colors. Dave has a drink today, which normally doesn't happen on this program.
So I was worried. A little tidbit, inside baseball, for people who watch the show. Our house upstairs, which is where the studio is, does not have any HVAC at all. Whoever designed this house, I think this was an attic, and then they decided, what we need is 3 more rooms with no insulation or HVAC. So this room gets extremely hot, which is why, wait, listen. You hear that gentle, that's the fan. I have one fan, it's on low, so I put it on high, it's super loud. So I have one fan gently blowing warmish air at me. So that's good.
Good thing the shirt's nice and light, so it doesn't distract you. Or the black shades that are hanging behind you, or the black leather chairs.
Yeah. If you skip through this episode, you might catch me later, because we do chapters now. I don't know if people know this. When you're watching on YouTube, we do chapters. So if you're skipping through chapters, you might find me in a later chapter without a shirt. I'm not sure. By the way, be sure to watch YouTube, Rumble. I think I'm going to start putting them on Facebook again. We'll see how it does.
Yeah, we should, considering I've seen today a headline. Zuckerberg wants to invest, it's in the billions. I think it's like $5 billion or something crazy, some insane amount of content for people to start, especially influencers and people. They're obviously using Instagram over Facebook for a lot of various reasons, and Zuckerberg is trying to, even though Facebook is Instagram, Zuckerberg's plan is to put money in there to keep people on the program. So, not like they'll monetize us at all, considering Ben Shapiro and Steven Crowder and Alex Jones and
I was going to say, you don't even have to give a lot of money to do that. You just have to, let certain people show their posts. You don't even have to worry about money.
Yeah,
it'd be great. It'd be free. It'd be a free investment to drive viewers to Facebook. It's just simply letting people post their stuff.
And as I've spoken,
easiest thing in the world.
As I've spoke before, when I was doing live videos in my car and stuff, it was obviously unregulated. Like I only had 300 something friends that was getting 400 views on a video. You know what I'm saying? So like the outreach was like there was. I mean, it's funny they blame, especially social media and stuff. They blame it on you not having the certain hashtags or like the certain words. And Dave, I know you run our things through programs. Technically, our titles, correct? Right?
Yeah.
Still do. Yeah, and it's just basically gives you like a yellow, red, and green score based on the words you use. But to the system is the words. And then for them to blame me not using the right words when they censor certain words is fucking arbitrary. Like there's a thing, if you curse in the first 30 minutes, you're demonetized. So you listen to everything we say, and then you can demonetize them based on a word. But then you're telling me I'm not using certain hashtags. if Dave has to put a parental advisory sticker on the front of our thumbnail on our podcast, we will. We'll say this is 18 and older, but you shouldn't throttle the shit because kids watch everything else. Look, this is. I guess what I'm saying is like there's a lot of alleviation of responsibility on a lot of different people, and we're seeing it at a lot of different. The big thing this week too was the labor shortage, right? And they're saying that it's wages, it's not a labor shortage. Like people just don't want to work for $8 an hour; they want to work for 15. Now we can get into the minutia of economics and why we think minimum wage is a bad thing to promote small business growth and other things. But my point of bringing it up is I seen somebody talk about how they went to college for a specific job, and then that job actually pays less than the job they currently have. And they basically have built their lifestyle around the job that they have. So if they were to take the pay cut, they would literally be over their head with bills. So it's like, whose fucking fault? That's whose fault is that?
It's not mine.
Like, where's the individual? How's it the government's job to regulate this? That you make bad decisions? We do it all the time. Student loan, they want to cancel, or that at least was a political talking point. Fleeing like war-torn countries, we should accept refugees when everything's getting fucked up all over the world. Like we're alleviating responsibility, and then we're piggybacking it. But that kid, there's solutions there. Like this is something I've personally dealt with in my personal life. And you know what I did? Went and got another job so that I could take the pay cut and still make the same amount. I just had to work a couple more hours at a different job. Had to humble myself and maybe go to a place I didn't want to work. Like you have to do what you have to do, and we just brush it under the rug. It's crazy.
That's called work ethic.
Yeah, and it's something dying. We want to speak about generations. I notice I have younger siblings. I have a lot of siblings, but they're very diverse age groups, and I notice it in my younger brother in particular. Of just like I think. Honestly, I don't feel like I was really aware of a lot of things till I got into my early 20s. I'm still growing. We're all kids still, but like to really have drive and like have plans and learning it. But like I've tried to teach him these skills of like discipline and have an agenda and plan your life out basically. And he's just, the kid can barely make a list to get a shopping. Like, what do you want for dinner? He can't even write the list down properly. They might be able to look up and something I get told a lot by younger kids is I know. They say the thing I know when you tell them something that you've learned in your 30-something years on Earth. And they're like, yeah, I know. It's like, dude, how old are you? And they tell you, oh, I'm 18. You don't fucking know anything. Just because you can look it up doesn't mean you understand it, man. Like, once again, alleviating responsibility or the individual in a lot of things.
When you were 18, did you ever bust out the I know?
Probably. I probably did act like I had all my shit, but I mean, literally, if somebody told me something, I had to take a lot of truth to it because we couldn't look it up right away. You know what I mean? Like smartphones didn't really start coming until 2009, 2010, and not everybody had them. And then like just the whole apparatus and the thing, the way we interface with the smartphones, like that wasn't thought of. These social apps and YouTube taking over the world and Google and stuff like that wasn't happening. I had to come home when the streetlights were on. There was no like alarm clock. My mom couldn't call me when I went out with my friends. I had to figure out the world on my own. I had to fail in real time and then suffer the consequences and then also find a solution. I had to develop critical thinking ability on the fly. And to be honest, I was not the best kid. I wasn't the worst kid, but I did dumb teenage shit, and I got in trouble with the police, and I never did jail time or hurt anybody or ruined anything, but, I was a delinquent to some degree. It's like kids almost don't experiment with that anymore because, like, the way we interface with these things, and then they, once again, to tie it all back to Zuckerberg and tying things together, these certain words can just throw you out of their algorithm and just make you not be seen.
Yeah, we talked about it before, like even just saying Trump. It's
flagged. It's flagged. It pushes you down in an algorithm, even though they say the algorithm isn't real. You just have to use certain words. Yeah, and if I use other certain words like Steven Crowder, Alex Jones, Jeffrey Epstein, you'll blackmail my COVID. Like, it's ridiculous.
But luckily, we're going to use most of these words in this episode, so that's good.
Yeah, it's always good. We always bring them up, though, because we won't forget.
Headlines. Cleveland Indians announced the Guardians as their new name. I'll say this about the Cleveland Indians, which, first of all, why not just call them natives? I don't know. If you're going to change it, Cleveland natives. I mean, the hell's a Guardian? But at least they came up with a name. As far as I remember, Washington's still the football team. So, at least they had some creativity. The Guardians. I don't know. I don't really care. I don't like baseball. I don't care if they were the Cleveland.
Well, this is just. I mean, the football team and these sports teams. I think I brought up Redskin once time on here, but I think honestly, especially our area in the world, Dave. I drive around Cayuga Creek, Seneca Street, Skajackwada, Allegheny, Seneca Falls, Casino. My whole local community is literally Native American words.
The first time Eve went up to Buffalo, she was looking at some of the stuff, and she's like, "How the hell do you say that?" I was like, "That's Skajackwada."
Yeah,
how do you say that, Cheektowaga?
Cheetah Vegas, we call it, but Cheektowaga, that's literally an Indian tribe name. Are you gonna take my town from me? You already took the Lancaster Redskins. Are you gonna take my hometown streets, Cayuga Creek? There's most of the waterways in this area are named after something native in origin. Lake Erie, I'm sure Lake Erie has some ties to the people that lived here. They called it that.
Yeah. It rolls off the tongue a lot better than Lake Toxic Waste Dump.
Mistake by the lake, just like Cleveland. That was Cleveland's. Because back in the 50s or something, they had a crazy fire on their lake.
I forgot you had some Cleveland ties. You went to college there.
Yeah, I got Cleveland ties. Went to a trade school in Cleveland, Ohio for 2 years. I had a great time there. And yeah, my very young adolescent, right before my 20s, the college experience, just trade school style. But yeah, man, there's a lot of similarities between the cities here along the base of the lake. They're called Rust Belt for a reason, man, because there's a lot of similarities.
Yeah.
Around Flint, Michigan stuff. So.
Yeah, I've been to a lot of cities in the Rust Belt, and there is definitely a very similar vibe for all of them. Definitely.
Yeah, it's a way of life too. I noticed it when I went around to the Pittsburgh area, which quite isn't a Rust Belt city, but parts of Pennsylvania are. And you could tell that Pittsburgh was a super huge blue collar. All the steel and coal mines and everything around that area. But you see, they don't use it now. So
it was blue collar that turned kind of hipsterish. It's kind of weird. It's a weird feel in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, it's like a tourist center now.
Yeah, it's a big tech area too.
Yeah, look at all the shit we used to produce. And it's you ride some of the train cars down the side of Mount Washington, which is very cool. I recommend everybody do that if you go to Pittsburgh. But yeah, my point is you obviously see these Rust Belt cities where in my own time to Pew, there's factories, that haven't been opened my entire life, but they were always there. And it's there's physical embodiment of things leaving here.
I heard something cool about Pittsburgh too. I heard that outside of LA, it's one of the top areas for filming for Hollywood.
Really?
And I know you're a Batman fan. Gotham City was one of the Batman movies with
Christian Bale.
The hell was it called? Heath Ledger is the Joker.
Yeah, Christian Bale.
Yeah. That was a lot of that was filmed in Pittsburgh.
No shit. Yeah, Pittsburgh is a city with the most bridges in all the world or something, or one of the most. There's 100 bridges.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
Very cool.
Very weird spot. Getting off of Pittsburgh and Rust Belt cities.
That was off the fucking trailgate there, bro.
Did you hear some Mike Lindell news?
Who's Mike Lindell?
Mike Lindell is the MyPillow CEO.
Oh yeah. I seen something about this.
Headlines. Mike Lindell is offering $5 million to anyone who can disprove his allegations of voter fraud. Pony up, YouTube. You want a quick $5 million if you think it's so easy.
Yeah, come on, sack up, YouTube.
Come on, all the people doing it. Come on.
You got all the clips, right? I'm sure you got all the independent fact checkers. If that's a good point, Dave. If anybody, these big mainstream media companies would be the one to be able to do that.
Sure. Facebook wants to bring in more revenue. Why don't you go see Mike Lindell? If it's that easy.
Yeah, Twitter in particular, you throttled information when you wanted to.
Yeah. I mean, surely they must know something that we don't know.
Yeah, I mean, they have all these filters about COVID and vaccines and everything else.
It's interesting. It's almost like they just don't want the $5 million. Or, hear me out, and I'm not saying I subscribe to this theory, but maybe voter fraud was real. Maybe if people aren't taking him up on his offer for $5 million, maybe there's something there. I'm just saying.
I don't understand, dude. Like, we said it before on this program, and we'll always say it probably till they take us down and we have to make a new YouTube channel. These people know what they're doing. You know, like, and I don't think this guy would sack up money. You know, maybe there's a technicality or fine print if you want to call him an evil capitalist or something. I'm sure somebody out there is spewing crap like that. But, yeah, I think it was like 32 terabytes of information or something he has on.
It's a lot.
Yeah, that's a ton of information.
Oh my god.
Yeah, so, you know, unless it's all lies, which, you know, Scientology,
sure.
What the fuck.
I've never done this before. Sometimes I've done back-to-back headlines because they kind of like tie together or whatever. I think I'm gonna do 4 headlines in a row.
You got an orgy of headlines?
There's no other word for it, really. It's an orgy of headlines. I don't think I've done this before, but I like how these all flow together perfectly.
The 4?
I'm gonna do 4. You guys ready? Headlines. Eric Clapton says he will not play at venues that require proof of vaccination. I will not perform on any stage where there is a discriminated audience present. Headlines. DeAndre Hopkins, NFL vaccine policy is making me question my future in the NFL. He's a star receiver in the NFL. Cole Beasley is one thing, you know, he's well known in Buffalo and he's a good receiver, but DeAndre Hopkins is like cream of the crop, wide receivers. Headlines. Vikings coach Rick Dennison leaves the team after refusing to get the coronavirus vaccine. And I like this one. I'll just save this one for last. Headlines. Democrats block COVID origins declassification bill as China refuses to cooperate with second WHO probe.
Yeah, why wouldn't you just sue fucking China like the former president wanted to do, you cocksuckers? Are you fucking kidding me? I knew about all those other things till that last one. We should be beating the bricks off these people. Are you fucking kidding me? And then I see Fauci today. Fauci said that, I don't have the exact headline, but he basically said like it was necessary for us to fund the gain of function research, even though he says that Dr. Rand Paul, who's a doctor, doesn't understand what the hell he's talking about in the Senate exchange, and then he's going to introduce bills to have him arrested or lying or...
But he doesn't understand virology. He's just an eye doctor.
He's a heart doctor.
Oh. Is it Rand Paul? I thought he was an eye guy.
I'm pretty sure Rand Paul does like heart surgery. Or has done.
Do we have to look at this?
Yeah, let's look at this. I know Ben Carson is a heart surgeon, but no, I
think Ben Carson was a brain surgeon.
Maybe that's what I'm mixing up. No, I'm pretty sure Rand Paul is, he can do heart stuff.
Is Rand Paul a doctor? Yo, goon! Libertarian Rand Paul, the eye doctor turned Republican Senate.
He is the eye doctor? Okay.
Yeah.
Ron
Paul? Is Ron Paul a heart doctor?
I don't know.
He's a doctor too, isn't he?
I don't know. His family's a piece of shit, from my understanding. Even though Rand Paul got beat up by his neighbor for probably his...
Oh, we're just... this just all flows together. Ronald Ernest Paul was born on August 20th, 1935 in Pittsburgh. I didn't know that. I thought he's a doctor too, though. What kind of doctor is Ron Paul?
Yeah, anyways, though...
He's just a physician, I guess.
It doesn't surprise me that the Democrats are going to block the COVID origin bill, especially because the WHO, too, on another level, those people are known corrupt with the Chinese government. So I don't give a fuck what they say.
No, I don't know why you would ever say such a thing.
I don't give a fuck what China says. And then on top of it, the Democrats, even though they can go fly around all over the country and spread COVID among their aides and staff from people that went to Texas and came back with beer.
No. Well, maybe they did that.
Hey, we're vaccinated. Got 30. Oh, people getting vaccinated are vaccinated and still getting COVID. That's weird. This whole thing, we don't even know. And then on top of it, one of the companies that sells the vaccine is paying out like tens of millions of dollars in opiate fucking abuse scandal. Johnson & Johnson is paying.
Oh, but that's
the same one making the vaccine.
Yeah, but
it says I need
that's just
booster.
opioids.
Fucking pricks. Yeah, it's like we're almost addicted to giving people shots because you make money on it.
It is like that.
And then Bill Gates can invest in, we're going to go save the third world country with the very companies. They say, tell you to hate capitalism, and then they love the capitalist ones that can keep sticking you with needles so that I can not kill my grandmother and open back up the economy. Even though Cuomo was getting away with killing your grandmother, DOJ came out and said that we're not going to investigate his nursing home scandal. So I'm glad we're focusing on sexual abuse instead of murder. But
that's good. No,
but to go here, the Democrats blocking the Wuhan origin bill says everything you need to know. If there's anything out of this week, that's the crown and jewel, because it shows that they don't care about facts. They care about feelings and being able to direct and steer narratives. These people know exactly what they're doing, and they know exactly how to manipulate you. And we're so heavily influenced. I was thinking of this, Dave, you and I were kind of just talking. I mean, we get up here and we ramble along through this, and we kind of generally understand it more than the average person. But I feel sorry for these people that don't pay attention. That's all they get is their Facebook information and whatever they see on their screens that are personalized of propaganda. I mean, dude, we heard about I had on my personal Instagram about the gain of function research over a year ago. And I was questioned. I was called a conspiracy theorist. I don't know shit. I'm not a scientist. But now we're blocking even the thought of maybe looking into it because it gained validity. This isn't something, and I'll even go a step further here. Because I keep seeing things about vaccines and lockdowns, and because New York State, the honor system in New York State isn't working, quote unquote, because apparently numbers are going up. And they're blaming.
I thought that was just pockets of unvaccinated people.
Yeah, that's what they've been saying. But so they're saying the honor system isn't working, which, once of course, they know exactly what they're doing. Mark Poloncarz issued state of emergency about gun control. They're going to do the same thing again. Lock it. I mean, we've talked about this every week. But my point, they keep bringing up all this anti-vax stuff, and they keep labeling all these people, these football players, politicians, trust the science, and everything else. And all we've seen, if you've been remote, I miss Trump for this reason, because people were paying attention. There was optics. And then all I had to do was sort through what was lies and not lies and what they believed and what I believed. And, it was a lot easier to actually have conversations, even though it was so emotionally charged, because people actually were paying attention to certain things. Now that that's kind of all faded away, the media can't stop talking about the Trump family, but more importantly, the shit Trump was talking about is not getting talked about, which is everything, in particular with the Democrats, the gain of function research, some of the things he said about hydroxychloroquine, some of the things about the border and closing things, in particular with the virus. And I keep bringing this up because we keep seeing about unvaccinated people and pockets of this and that. What they fail to realize, and they're demonizing this for us, is we don't trust the government. We are now seeing measurable things through COVID vaccines and transmissibility and the numbers and people wearing masks. I guarantee you most of the people I see in my local community are not vaccinated. I guarantee you, not wearing masks. And this is something we've talked about since the beginning as a society. But my point is, we're visually seeing the measurability of people not trusting their government, and it's come down to vaccines. And it's football players, it's celebrities, it's scientists, it's the average Joe Schmo at work, it's blue-collar guys, it's white-collar guys that feel like they're people that can't speak about it, politicians. I mean, we're seeing the line of where people do and do not trust their government. And then we get to see it on the TV that we're evil for not trusting our government. But we've seen nothing but goalposts move the entire time. We've seen them lie. And on top of it, you tell me the guy that came before this guy was a biggest liar and a narcissist and a manipulator, and he was just caring about the rich people, and he was just doing things for his inside crony people. So you said, once again, Barack Obama said most secure election ever in 2016, but then you say the Russians hacked it with Facebook ads, right? That's what you told me. This is what you told me. This isn't, I didn't come up with this. You wonder why I won't get a fucking vaccine when the very company is paying out opiate abuse right now, but I'm supposed to trust them. But you tell me not to trust corporations and trust big pharma. But then you tell me I have to get a vaccine to open the fucking economy or I'll kill people's grandparents. But my government did it with their policies.
Massive doublespeak. Massive
doublespeak. If this isn't propaganda, what is it? And then you say we're the alt-right wingers. You say we're the evangelical Christians. You say we're the alt-right supporters. We're the Trump supporters. We're the minority. We're the fringe extremists. We're the insurrectionists, white supremacists. All because we question government authority. But the whole time when the guy before us was in power, that's all the mainstream media did. That's all the left party did was question the government authority. And now because if anything, this is what the left sowed. This is what mainstream media sowed was public discourse on believing vaccines or not. Because you were making us have to decipher literally by the minute because President Trump tweeted all the fucking time. So we had to, this is a lie and this is, well, Trump kind of means this. So like, how many times would he tweet a day now that that's all fucking deleted and none of us can look at it to see what was real and what was not real? But you're not suppressing free speech, but you delete the most powerful guy. How am I to trust anything the government says? You've literally sown the oats of discourse, and then the oats of discourse that bake the loaf of bread that we're all eating, saying, I should maybe not trust the government because they're double-speaking assholes. This is weird. I've seen this lie before. This is weird. This reminds me of that. And then I'm the alt-right winger that needs to get you throttle misinformation on the internet. Oh, it's just the internet's misinformation. The shit I say is from mainstream media. The stuff we disprove here at December 1773 is from the mainstream media, from the internet. Is this misinformation? What was misinformation before 2020 when Joe Biden was elected? Remember, you had this when fact checking became a thing, right? The CCP filter on social media. That's when that started. Was after the 2020 election, before the 2020 election. Because remember, last time in 2016, most secure election. But Facebook ads stole it and let Trump win because of the Russians. Oh, what about Iran? What about China? What about? No, you're a right-wing extremist. You're an insurrectionist. You wonder why there's no. You wonder why we're pushing back. You wonder why. I mean, you bankrupted people. You destroyed everything at the government level all the way down. To gain power, what's the misinformation thing about imploding the internet so that you can control free speech? So that once again, if you're saying the stuff I'm saying is extremist and all these other things, the things I say are what you tell me. All I've done is use the headlines against you. I don't even have to read the news article, and you already contradict yourself. So why would I fucking believe the government about a vaccine? It's safe and effective. How do I know they didn't give different vaccines? It's obvious that they eat better quality food than us. It's obvious that senators and representatives have better health care than the average person, right? Bernie Sanders up there championing of the people because he lives above you. Tax the rich, but invest $1 million in a company. The average American doesn't have a $500 to rub together in an emergency, but our elected official that says she speaks for all those people is investing millions of dollars into her own private clothing line. How am I to ever trust the government ever again?
Well, I'll let them answer that because I don't have a good answer.
I'm the insurrectionist for using the things they told me against them, even though they contradict themselves. Senator Paul, you don't, with all due respect, you don't know what you're talking about. Remember the whole thing about wages and payments and everything? Fauci makes $3 million a year. Senator Rand Paul makes like $100,000. What about the pay? What isn't that like a rich guy swinging his dick out there? A big rich guy with influence and power? I don't know how you expect me to believe both things you tell me when you literally we prove it, but I see it. It's painful, man. I feel sorry for people that don't pay attention.
We don't even go that deep. We don't. That's the whole point of headlines. Is we don't go deep into anything because you don't have to. You can literally do it by just reading their headlines. And I say their headlines because the media on the left, and it's all the same thing.
They're going after Ben Shapiro for misinformation. Ben Shapiro runs a legal media company. Legal media company. He says this is a Daily Wire publication. He's a publisher. He publishes news articles.
It's funny because we were just talking about how Ben Shapiro is a real wait for the facts kind of guy, I think last week. He doesn't say anything unless he can 100% prove it.
Yeah, he's misinformation because they went after Crowder first, right? Because Crowder said, once again, we've said here that Crowder, the bold thing about him is that he speaks out before he just is going on his gut and what he feels, and then Ben waits for the facts. So it's easy to take Crowder. It was easy to take Alex because they were, this is misinformation or whatever word they want to use now, hate speech or racism, whatever they want to use. And then Ben Shapiro now is getting labeled misinformation. You know who's probably got a better track record than mainstream media? Ben Shapiro! He has reporters at things asking questions. The Blaze as well. They do a phenomenal job on Instagram. You know all they do? They just play the 5-minute video clip of the exchange. It's not a doctored video. It's not a minute here and then a minute of political commentary. No, they let the exchange play out. They let you see it in real time.
That sounds like misinformation.
Misinformation, lock it down. And we're going to consort with Facebook. Those big evil corporations, those Republicans and those big evil corporations. Democrats are literally, I'm sorry, I'll stop. That fucking who bill pisses me off that Democrats would. I mean, it's expected. These people know what they're doing. But just like the thought that you won't even try to disprove the thing that you say is a lie. Because what, of money? I mean, how much money did you spend on president impeachments? How much money did you spend? How much you always say about Republicans too? They investigated Benghazi. I mean, we've spent the money to investigate things before for political purposes, but you're not going to do this one? Makes me believe it even more. Makes me believe the lab leak even more. Wonder why there's loads of misinformation out here. You're not investigating the thing that you said was a lie. Here's your chance to fund it. Because that's what you say we need. We need to tax the rich to fund more things. We'll tax the rich and fund if the fucking virus that killed everybody was made in a lab in the Chinese government communist regime at an institute of virology of coronavirus. Let's just that gets government funding and grants.
Well, but the good news is we have such a stable mind in Dr. Fauci. We don't even have to fund such a thing. We already know that there's a highly unlikely chance that it caused the coronavirus.
Guys writing book deals. Come on. Come on. Probably get Netflix show. Megan, I brought this up. The freaking royal bitch that married the prince and then...
She getting her own Netflix show.
They're writing a book. Oh, it's going to come out on this date. Are you fucking kidding me? The new Kardashians. Royalty. New Kardashian.
Can I point out when I was in Buffalo yesterday? I saw somebody... Have you ever seen like the Trump stickers on the side of the back windows and whatever?
Yeah,
I saw someone. The Queen. Yeah. You've seen it too.
Yeah. Yeah, I want to run that woman off the fucking road.
When have we seen that happen with the princess and the royal family?
Once again, you people always bring up my history as an American. That woman fucking enslaved everybody. She enslaved everybody. Colonized the globe. Her whole family. They can trace it. They can trace the conquerors down to her. You hate my fucking roots, but you're driving around. Get the fuck out of here.
You're gonna go real Princess Diana on her, huh?
She needs to get fucking grassy knolled, bro.
It is a comedy podcast, obviously, when we say these things. It's satire!
She's not worth the ammunition, believe me. Dude, that brings up another joke, I
would dump her right in the harbor.
These school shootings have to be government funded. Ammo's too expensive to just go and shoot people randomly.
Oh no. Oh no! That's what got Alex kicked off.
I'm just saying, bullets are over $2 a round.
Oh God. Well, let's jump quickly into Decembertainment before that.
Only in America is bullets more than money, or more than food. Oh my God, bro. All right, quick misogyny-tainment here. So I'm at the bar with my friend the other day. Last night we went out. And,
can I point out, just by the way, I love that how every story starts out with those words.
Is that an alcoholic? Yo, there's a reason Heineken's in green bottles, man. It's my kryptonite. You know what I'm saying?
That's Not why, but go on.
Yeah, it's supposed to help keep it fresh. Anyways, so I just go out and talk to everybody. I'm highly what's the term? Extrovert.
Yeah, I guess that would be right.
So I bump into some chicks, and I don't know how I got on it, but I said like, you guys look a little older or something about.
That's not. I'd like to just slowly, quickly before Ryan continues. Let's get a glimpse into Ryan at the bar, talking to women. Oh, you look a little old. What are you, mid-40s? You're looking a little old for my type. How much do you make? This is Ryan hitting on women. What are you, 45? You got a stable job? Make 70 cents on the dollar. I hope you make at least pretty decent money. What do you make, 30 grand a year? What are you, secretary?
I'm never getting laid ever again, dude. I'm telling you. I like to ask questions. You know what I'm saying? What, you got a brother? How's your dad? One woman
I think the questions that are typically asked are like, "Oh, what are you drinking?" Not, "Should you be drinking this late at your age? Did you catch the early bird?"
Tomorrow for breakfast, if you're up early enough, you can go down to Denny's to get the all you can eat. Man, that's hilarious.
Go on with your story as you're insulting the women immediately as you show up.
I asked one woman, "You got a good relationship with your dad?" My dad was murdered last year.
Oh my God, no!
He was shot in the head! That was...
So she's got daddy issues.
Someone say fatal daddy issues. Man, the relationship was probably pretty vital before it happened.
Oh no. Oh no, that's terrible. How'd you come back from that one?
I stopped talking to her.
You just walked away.
That was the girl last week that I got so she already moved. Oh man, I felt bad for a second, but it's like,
you got daddy issues? Yeah, he was shot in the head.
You got a good relationship with your father?
Nice. See you later.
You lean in with the sibling one, right? Oh, you got any siblings? Be like, oh, yeah, I got a sister. Be like, oh, cool. You got a good relationship with your dad? My father died last year. Oh, he was shot in the head. Oh. All right. Anyways, back to this woman.
Yeah, back to insulting the old woman. Go on to that one.
Oh Lord. I don't know how we got on it, dude, but I said something about age. And I was like, what? Sorry to assume I'm at this particular bar, which normally older chicks go to. Let's be real here. This isn't like the college bar. You know what I mean? Where I live. And they were like, true. Now I know they were only agreeing with me because I'm attractive, and they're not. My boys all dressed up, hair done, smell good, glasses are clean. I shaved the other day.
1 in a trillion.
So the woman's like, this is the funniest thing to me. She's like, how old do you think I am? I was like, I'm not doing that, I told her, I'm like, I don't want to, get you upset. She's like, I won't get offended. I was like, you really want me to tell you? She's like, yeah. Okay, you look 37. 37? I'm not that old. I'm like, how the fuck are you going to ask me a question? I'm not going to get offended, and then I give you the truth, and then you get offended. The girls walked away from me after that. But I fucking told the girl that. Like, what do you... Women don't know what they fucking want, people. That's the moral of the story. The things that they want, they don't think... They don't know what the fuck they're talking about. Don't trust them. Don't believe them. They're just there. They're paycheck extractors. That's all they are. She wants my money to drink beer for free, to go home with her girlfriend, and not have to... she wants me to invest all of my time, money, energy, and resources into her, and she can reciprocate nothing. I won't even get a fucking text tomorrow. But you want me to take you to fucking Salvatore's. Get out at 37. Sound like you smoked a pack of cigarettes a day. You might be fucking 40. I'm not 37. Come on, man.
Was that your optimistic guess? Was that you trying to be gentlemanly?
Yes.
Oh, this girl's at least 48. I'm gonna say 37.
That was a low ball.
32. What the?
I knew she wasn't 20. She wasn't in her 20s. She hit the wall already. She went, and her hotness declined rapidly. Men do not age the same, sweetheart. I'm sorry. Y'all got, you guys are born with your... All right. Before I get demonetized for too much red pill content for my audience. All right, my real Decembertainment. I know the misogyny stuff's really humorous, but this one is kind of like, I guess it dovetails with a lot of stuff we talk about here. Kind of in a weird way. So as everybody knows that listens to me and Dave every week, been trying to get an electrical union around me recently. Now, excuse me, not to beat my own chest, but I'm relatively capable when it comes to working with my hands. Not only have I spent my own money to go get training in these aspects of automobiles, for example, but I've worked a variety of trades within the automotive field. I've done automotive glass, I've been a body guy, I've painted cars, I've taken them apart, I've done accessories, I've done, I've done a lot of things with vehicles. I could take a car apart and put it back together, not necessarily too much engine work, but I have a fair degree of mechanical capability and smarts. And not just to mention everything I know currently, any job I go to in the future, I'm immediately adding value to their company, whether it is in the field or not, because of work experience solely, and the type of work experience I have is high degree, high production value, high quality, high output. Like, I check the boxes, man. I fucked up. I've fucking been an asshole to my boss. I've done all the bad shit too. But I'm just saying, like, the shit I know is not... It's not replicated other than putting time and resources into somebody. So the electrician union, since I basically don't have electrical experience, I'm basically just, they call it green, right? You're a green employee.
Yeah, you're a
just
ground
means,
player.
yeah, you just have no, you have no experience, so you're green. It's like a green card is the alien, illegal anything. So I go through all these steps. I have to take an aptitude test, which is basically math from high school, which I have not done in 10 years. I paid money. I consorted a family member who has math experience, and he's a teacher, and he showed me what to do and how to solve these problems. I put the time in. The place is a half hour from my house while I work and everything else and have my own life, and I accommodate all the schedules. I go to all the meetings. I respond to all the paperwork. I pay for everything I had to pay for. I go through all these steps. Okay. So I'm at the interview process for the apprenticeship program. Okay, that's how I was trying to get into the union. Dave, to you, what does apprenticeship mean?
Pretty much you're going to shadow a skilled worker and kind of learn the trade from the guy in real life.
Right. So, like, basically, you know nothing, and I will teach you.
Yeah.
You don't have school. You don't have this. To me, apprenticeship means I skip school. Not that I won't go to school, but I skip it, meaning that I don't have to spend 2 years of my life to just show up here and be at the same place that I was if I didn't go to college, which has happened to me in the automotive field in particular aspects. The things I learned at a trade school, I probably could have learned in the field. Yep. But that's here, though. I can't weigh that now that I'm older. That's just a little bit of my personal regret. But anyways, so apprenticeship program, that's what I'm involved in. That's what, once again, I went through all the steps, paid everything, took these tests. I passed the aptitude test. I get a resume together. I look nice. I show up at 8 o'clock. And when you get there on a fucking projector, they got the pay scale out, right? First thing you see when you sit down. It looks real good. You do pretty well. Very well, especially in this area, the benefits, healthcare, 401k, that's the first thing he talks about, right? Great. The beginning wage is lower than minimum wage at fast food. I will say that because that's important. Because to me, back to the story earlier about the kid not wanting to take a pay cut to get in the field that he's trained for, I am willing to take a pay cut.
That's to learn. It's an investment.
I understand that. I understand that this is going to cost me time, money, resources, and I may have to work a different area on top of this and do extra things so that in the long run I can reap the benefits. As Jordan Peterson would have to say, this is prolonged gratification. And I'm willing to take that. As an older person, some of the people in this room could not even drink alcohol. And I know that because I asked how old they were. So you're telling me, right, we both show up. A kid who's 17 years old right out of high school and me are the same exact thing. No, we are not. We are not the same.
I can assure you, as somebody who has done interviews, that you don't look at them the same, even if you say that.
So after he pulled the pay scale off and benefits, he put this other sheet up. This was actually implemented by the state. I think it's a good program because to most people, the thing you hear bad about unions is it's basically just another political machine within an industry. And basically, only people who know people in the union get in the union. And that's a stigma that a lot of unions have. So the presenter of this presentation said that. He said, this is a way that it's not about who you know, but what you know. He said it's merit-based. That's great. I like merits. I'm very good. Once again, I check boxes. I've never done electrical work. But I know all this other shit. Anyway, so it's literally like a scale, and it's out of 150 points. And I basically had 0. Because I've never worked in electrical field. I've never gone to electrical college. I didn't work in the military. There's all these things. You know what I'm saying? So basically, the only thing I can score on is the score that I got on my aptitude test and my interview process, which only gives me like 40% of the total points. So like I could ace everything and I still wouldn't even get a 50% on their scale, basically. I'd go in for the interview and tell me why I feel like the fucking idiot. They're like, you need to go to school or you need to go get an electrical job to get your points up. Now, regardless if that's true or not, your merit-based everything else, I can try to sit here and sell you myself. I know it's not going to matter because all you care about is these fucking points. But the guy to tell me that we spent $32,000 over a 5-year program to train you, and they tell me I need to go to school. I don't make minimum wage. I'm a skilled worker at my current job. I already was going to take a pay cut. Now you're telling me I need to take a pay cut just to maybe get an opportunity? I'm not guaranteed? What happened to apprenticeships? What the fuck is an apprentice? You don't know anything? I'll train you, teach you. You're telling me I need to go spend, 2 years of my life and at least $10,000 to learn electrical work, but we've spent $32,000 on you. Yeah, but let's factor in my time, money, resources, gas, taking a pay cut. I spend more than $32,000 waiting for you to maybe give me an opportunity in your program. On top of taking a pay cut, on top of having to go back to school, on top of trying to find a local electrical place that will hire me and start training me on the job training. I thought that's what apprenticeship was for. They never told me this point scale existed until the very last second. They let me spend my money, spend my time, spend my resources, spend my energy to the last minute, and then they show, here's this invisible scale that we hold you to.
That's kind of weird. I don't know why you wouldn't be upfront about that.
Yeah, what the fuck is an apprenticeship program?
Because you can, it would benefit them to show people that, because then you can weed out people right away. Why would you sit through and go through all these interviews?
Yeah, and they told me, well, we spent $32,000 and we want people that are committed. And they asked me why I'm there. I said, opportunity. I looked up the highest skill. I can't go back to college to be a professor or doctor or fucking lawyer. I'm not doing it. It's not my thing. It's not my thing. I can work with my hands. I can build shit. I can think of creative things, draw it on a sheet of paper down to measurements and scale and build it with my fucking bare hands. But I'm the same as a high schooler. But you have an apprenticeship program.
Yeah, for who? I don't.
Yeah, you have an apprenticeship program. You tell me it's upon merit. Yeah, you have an apprenticeship program for the people you want. And the reasoning was, now, I'm trying to be objective through this whole thing, but it's very frustrating because you held this scale from me until the very last second. You never told me there was a curriculum because you just said it's an apprenticeship program. The thing I find ridiculous, we talked about it earlier about wage shortages and labor shortages and all these different shortages, and people are like debating the politics of that. I am hearing from people I know in that field that they cannot hire enough people right now in electrical jobs.
Yeah, I wonder why.
Here I am, willing to learn, eat shit, take a pay cut, drive the miles, I have a car, I'm willing to do all these things, and you tell me I need to go to college and go get another job, basically. When I'm making more than what that other job would pay me. So I would have to take a pay cut just to maybe get an opportunity based on fucking numbers. This is lunacy. This is lunacy. These people know what they're doing. So, I know it wasn't quite as entertaining as the misogyny, but I just really want to put it out there. It's becoming very clear how they're removing the ladder rungs from people. And they always say this happens and stuff, but like this is a fucking prime example, man. I'm a highly skilled person, highly determined, I'm intelligent, I show up, I'm consistent. We can't hire you because you don't have experience. What do you mean? I have life experience. I have stuff I can't put on paper. I have stuff that I can't measure with a college degree. I have a work ethic that you won't find like people in college. We want to make sure these people really want to do it. Dude, I want to do it. The wage, I'll do what I'm doing for the wage that you showed me. I'll do that for $70,000 a year. So it's not a leap to think that I couldn't do it. I already put a decade in one industry. And guarantee, even in that 5 years of you spending 32 grand on me, I know I make you more than $32,000. So it's a fucking lie. Just the way.
I would hope so.
It's the way the invisible politics plays, and that's what we have to battle. So.
I'm just glad unions are good for workers.
Yeah, so much for helping the little guy, the unskilled, getting people jobs, right? Learn to code, hashtag learn to code. I'm trying to hashtag learn a trade. Go learn a trade. Join a workers union. They'll train you how you want. You know how many times I've been told, oh, I like that you don't know anything. Non-union, this is. I like that you don't know anything because I can train you how I want.
Right. Yeah, then you don't have bad habits. I'll train you the right way to do things. If you got 10 years experience doing it the wrong way, you're no good to me.
Yeah, not to mention that guy that has 20 years in the field can show you all the shortcuts that it took him 20 years to learn. You can learn that in a shorter time. You'll become better technicians. You'll become better because you skip time. You have these people that have 30 years experience teaching you it all in a 5 years time span. You learn 30 years of experience in 5 years from one guy. How powerful is that?
And then you can do the same thing for someone else.
Yeah, because that sounds like an apprenticeship program. It just shows you like the invisible strings of politics and how these people, they know how to structure things to fuck you over. So we can't, maybe I'm not meant to be an electrician. That's what I'm looking at. Maybe, the union isn't the path. So maybe I'll have to go get an electrical job and then just take the apprenticeship program without them spending money. Maybe I'll just have to educate myself. Maybe I can fucking hack the matrix and not use their system and still, get to the same end result. That's something I'm going to have to look into. But I have the drive to do that. Most of these kids I sat down with did not. So I guess it's their loss. But until then, I appreciate everybody watching. This is Dave and Ryan from December 1773. This is the start of season 2, so buckle up, man. I'm enjoying this.
It's going to get wild.
Yeah, but like, comment, subscribe, Facebook, Instagram, Rumble, YouTube. Yeah, appreciate everybody. We drop every Monday Eastern time, 7 o'clock. And I look forward to seeing everybody at the premiere. I'll be there commenting live, as I always am with Dave. And catch you all next week. And David, thank you.
Thank you, as always. Remember to keep watching to the end. I'm not forgetting about this. There was an orb, and I'm going to show it to you right now.